Ferrari prepares to introduce fresh rear suspension technology at the Belgian Grand Prix, though developments suggest challenging times ahead for the Italian squad. Emerging reports indicate that 2026 vehicles will probably shift away from the pull rod front suspension configuration that teams have adopted during recent seasons. Following 3 seasons with pushrod setup, Ferrari transitioned to pull rod for the current 2025 campaign, yet this modification might prove irrelevant moving forward. Questions arise regarding Ferrari's resource allocation during these recent months and implications for 2026 developments. Driver market speculation continues surrounding Red Bull's lineup decisions. Yuki Tsunoda's future remains uncertain, with potential destinations including Red Bull promotion, alternative teams, or possibly Cadillac. His continuation at Red Bull appears unlikely without exceptional performance during the season's second half, particularly given the RB21's limitations unless driven by Max Verstappen. Cadillac emerges as a potential option, though competition for available seats intensifies significantly. Valtteri Bottas maintains consideration for various positions, while Sergio Perez possesses strong chances for securing drives. Mick Schumacher's Formula One return remains questionable despite supportive voices like Toto Wolff and positive Alpine World Endurance Championship performances. Additional candidates include Felipe Drugovich, though his likelihood appears diminished. Potential Chinese market interests that might influence Cadillac's decisions regarding drivers like Zhou Guanyu, possibly recreating previous Sauber configurations. Sebastian Vettel's potential Formula One return generated discussion regarding Red Bull advisory roles, though concrete developments remain absent. Conversations suggest possible endurance racing involvement, potentially with Aston Martin, where his Formula One career concluded. Lance Stroll's World Endurance Championship participation seems inevitable given his driving characteristics, proficiency in wet conditions, and metronomic consistency rather than dramatic speed. These qualities align well with endurance racing requirements. Aston Martin's future considerations include whether Stroll represents optimal personnel for championship aspirations. Adrian Newey's arrival raises questions about team ambition indicators, though changes may emerge gradually. The organisation will likely pursue drivers like Verstappen or evaluate Alonso's 2026 potential, with Russell representing another possibility. Drama surrounding Ferrari involved Guenther Steiner's commentary regarding Lewis Hamilton's influence within the team structure. Steiner identified potential conflicts between Hamilton's personal brand power and Ferrari's traditional hierarchy. His analysis positioned Hamilton as Formula One's only driver possessing stature exceeding team boundaries, comparing the situation to football superstars like Messi or Ronaldo. This perspective suggests that while Verstappen dominates within motorsport, Hamilton's cultural impact extends beyond racing. The debate questioned whether any driver could surpass Ferrari's brand magnitude. Social media metrics show Hamilton's follower count doubling Ferrari's numbers, though cultural significance measurements prove more complex. Ferrari supporter accounts engaged in discussions defending the team's supremacy, leading to social media tensions between various fan communities. Statistical analysis reveals Ferrari's championship struggles since 2009, with only 4 drivers achieving championship leadership during this period. Vettel led for 18 races, Alonso for 14, Leclerc for 5, and Massa for 1 race in 2010. These numbers highlight Ferrari's underperformance despite ambitious rhetoric over recent decades. Charles Leclerc's qualifying performance shows concerning decline patterns. Pole position statistics demonstrate dramatic reduction: 7 in 2019, 2 in 2021, 9 in 2022, 5 in 2023, 3 in 2024, and 0 through 2025's first half. Additionally, alternating winning seasons create frustrating patterns. Race victories in odd years followed by winless campaigns, reflecting broader Ferrari inconsistencies. Ferrari continues investing resources in current season improvements, believing understanding gained will benefit 2026 preparations. The semi-ground effect regulations require solid mechanical foundations, making this year's development relevant for future concepts. Recent rear suspension modifications required new gearbox fairings and repositioned front top wishbones, representing substantial alterations despite maintaining pull rod configuration. Resource allocation questions emerge as Ferrari reportedly reassigned 2026 development personnel to current season upgrades. While potentially beneficial for gaining regulatory understanding, this strategy risks compromising future preparation. The team currently holds 3rd championship position, providing additional testing time compared to Mercedes, though less than McLaren's allocation. Regulation changes for 2026 promise radical departures from current ground effect concepts. Lance Stroll criticized upcoming regulations while suggesting political motivations prevent other drivers from voicing concerns. The 50-50 combustion electric power split creates complications requiring active aerodynamics to maintain adequate straight-line performance, particularly at venues like Monza where electrical components alone prove insufficient. Downforce reduction estimates range between 20 to 30%, potentially improving racing quality and following capabilities. However, similar promises accompanied 2022 regulation introductions, with teams eventually discovering methods to circumvent intended limitations. Ground effect cars demand extremely stiff suspension settings and precise ride heights, creating natural understeer at low speeds and oversteer at high speeds that drivers universally dislike. Technical analysis suggests movement away from current suspension philosophies for 2026. 7 teams currently employ pull rod front suspension, essentially copying Red Bull's initial Neue design. Ferrari uniquely modified their front suspension concept during these regulations' final year, switching from their traditional approach to match Red Bull's configuration. Future designs may abandon pull rod front and push rod rear combinations as aerodynamic advantages diminish. Flat floor returns eliminate requirements for extremely low ride heights and stiff suspension settings, potentially allowing traditional push rod front configurations. Ferrari might revert to familiar designs, questioning their recent suspension investments given potential irrelevance for 2026 applications. Championship discussions focus on greatest drivers never achieving titles. Sterling Moss frequently receives recognition despite limited contemporary viewing audiences, his impressive victory statistics and multiple runner-up finishes supporting his candidacy. Juan Pablo Montoya and Robert Kubica represent other possibilities, while some suggest non-Formula One drivers like Scott Dixon or Alex Palou deserve consideration. Felipe Massa's near-championship experiences generate debate, though Charles Leclerc receives significant support despite recency bias influences. These discussions highlight Formula One's competitive nature and circumstances preventing talented drivers from securing ultimate success. Weather forecasts for Spa-Francorchamps indicate persistent light rainfall throughout the weekend, creating potentially challenging conditions without extreme thunderstorm scenarios. Expectations suggest weather-affected sessions, though hopefully avoiding dramatic situations experienced in previous years. This adds another variable to Ferrari's suspension development testing and overall competitive assessment during the Belgian Grand Prix weekend. The Silverstone weekend proved to be another challenging chapter for Ferrari, with only Lewis Hamilton managing to secure championship points. Both drivers expressed significant frustration with the team's strategic decisions and car performance throughout the race weekend, raising questions about the Italian outfit's internal operations and their preparation for the upcoming regulation changes. The troubles began before the race even started, when Charles Leclerc opted for slick tires despite questionable track conditions. This bold decision backfired immediately as the Monegasque driver quickly discovered the circuit remained too wet for dry weather compounds. George Russell had made a similar tire choice from 4th position, but found himself severely compromised compared to the leading group. When a safety car intervention occurred shortly afterward, Leclerc was forced to abandon his risky strategy and switch to intermediate tires, essentially ruining his race prospects from the outset. During the race, Leclerc communicated his ongoing struggles with the car's handling characteristics to his race engineer. He reported excessive rear tire temperatures compared to the front, along with inconsistent brake balance that left him uncertain about stopping distances. These technical issues compounded his already difficult situation following the poor tire